New York is an amazing city. The amount of wealth, diversity, pop culture, and entertainment is almost unparalleled to any other place in the world. But when we talk about the working class, you're almost always accompanied by a silent majority, people that don't want to be heard and people that aren't heard in the first place. I'm David Vasquez, economics major, and sounding like an enlistment officer, I want you to contact the governor. First, I want you to understand the amount missing between the living wage and the minimum wage. Second, I want to further solidify my reasoning to you with a proper analysis at a national level. Lastly, I will give you the steps to contact the governor, and I will give you the specific words necessary to go ahead and send him the letter. First, I believe everyone is entitled to the amount of money that they make. I also believe everyone is entitled to live. I believe everyone should be able to purchase their things with dignity and purchase what they need. Not always what they want, but what they need. I'm no follower of Marx when I say that, but I do believe that the issue with the minimum wage is that it's not a livable wage. No one can live at $15 adjusted to inflation for 2021. I believe that the minimum wage has definitely made massive strides in the past years. But when we're comparing the $15 minimum wage to the $18 livable wage, you have a massive disparity of about $7,000 annually. That means $7,000 are missing between the minimum and livable. Obviously, second, when we talk about the minimum wage and it going up, you're always accompanied with massive myths. A very, very common one is prices for food will go up, as well as people will lose jobs, unemployment will go up. Though, when analyzing a report from David Cooper, who's part of the Economic Policy Institute, there was a conclusion that it wouldn't only help the bottom line of massive companies or businesses, but it would also help 38.6 million aged adults of 18 years old and older, 23.8 full-time workers, 23 million women, 11.2 million parents, and 5.4 million single parents. The gradual rise of minimum wage helps, but in the end, it doesn't make it better. And that's the current issue when looking at the minimum wage. It's at the moment below what our current economy can afford with inflation. And there's another massive issue is that minimum wages rise, all the wages would rise with it. But the time $15 an hour is fully solidified, the living wage will also be inflated as well. It is the real life version of the rat race when it comes to your money in your pocket. Now, I need to completely solidify this one fact. The minimum wage does not reduce anyone else's income. Because of inflation, it also increases everyone else's income. When we're talking about the living wage and the minimum wage, if the minimum wage were to be put into the living wage and set at a constant, meaning every year it goes up 3%, the amount inflation is valued at, then we wouldn't have this massive issue of the government playing catch up. Currently, the government can't afford it, but there's a lot of things the government pays for and they can't afford. Thankfully, and lastly, the solution is to send a letter to the governor, specifically asking for a constant readjustment of the minimum wage. Specifically, what you would want to ask is for him to have a constant readjustment of the Minimum Wage Act, Article 19 specifically. If the state goes into debt for this act, then that's for a good cause. Because you can go ahead and you can search the amount of bills that they've tried to put money in, they've gone into debt for, and there's nothing that's happened. The key word when sending him this letter is constant, so that we can stop this state and county from bleeding. Because what's essentially happening is the state is bleeding money because it's not able to maintain itself. Now that everything is said and done, if you sympathize with what I believe in and what I believe is the best plan of action, all that's left to do is go ahead and contact him. I believe sending a letter is the best way to contact the governor. So his address and the way to send the letter is you would have to send it to the Honorable Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor of New York State, NYS State Capitol Building, Albany, and the zip code of it is 12224. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go ahead and finish my letter.